Thank you everyone for joining the Primo quarterly update. We have some exciting feature to share with you. And I'm going to start with these highlights, the agenda. So today we are going to demo and show you another smart service, another exploration, where we would like to offer in the right context more items from the same course or more items from the same collection. So I will show you and demo what this feature all about and how you can help how you can help to expose more of this material type course and collection. This is one item. And another item that I'm going to share with you is improving the glanceability of course material within the search results, so user will be able to find more easily course material by having a dedicated icon, course icon for that. Um, additional highlight is coming from the nurse enhancement. Uh, Customers request to provide an indicator on not renewable item in the My Library card, and in addition to that, if provided, can explain the reason why, explain to the user why those items cannot be renewable. So I will show you how we implement that for you. Another action that we are providing, another export to Citation Manager. We are finally releasing the export to Mendeley action. So we'll have a short demo for that. And next highlight that I want to share is a news from last year about the hypertext linking. Now, as a feedback from you, we are going to show you how you can support more exact search for that, what we did in order to satisfy and have this nurse enhancement completed and delivered to you. And last, I'll switch to Hani to share with you the recent Primo V updates and the upcoming through August and September release. Before we start, I would like to share that this is the release schedule for August, specifically for Primo. In the next slide, I will show you for Primo VE. So Primo release, sandbox release is starting July 2021, next Sunday, and it's going to be rolled out to the total care customer a week after, and on production multi-tenant for August 4th, and the rest of the customer and local customer by August 18. What I want also to mention, there is the link here for the Primo release schedule, and we already put and published the release schedule for 2020, so you can align your activity based on the release, also using this information. And this slide is describing the upcoming release for this quarter for Primo VE, which is the August and September release. So this Primo VE is going to be released on the sandbox on July 2021 and production August 4th. And you also have the timeline for the August release. And I put the link here. As mentioned, Primo VE is released with the Alma monthly release cycle. Okay. So let's start. So previously in May release, we deliver you a link and contextual relationship that we had to build some logic in order to have those relations, such as book and book reviews. We build a graph database in order to make those relations available for the user and also to know how to correlate those items. Now, with this release, what we are doing is actually giving much more exposure to a relation that were curated by other instructor if is a correlated item under the same course. So we want to give much more meaning, much more exposure in the right context to those items. And same goes for collection. Those items were brought together under the same collection because they are relating somehow. So this formal relation, this curated relation, is going to be exposed by a new feature that we are releasing, which is like same as the concept of more like this, We would like to show the patron more in the context of the current record. That means that if a record is associated to course, we will be able to show the patron more items from the same course. And same goes for the collection. So this is the concept about, this is the idea about discovery in context with curated relation. We are releasing to feature more from the same collection and more from the same course. In Primo, it's going to be released August release. In Primo VE, it's on September release. As you can see, we are putting on the slides the timeline so to help you be seeing. And now I want to show you a demo for that and explain. So before the demo, I just want to show more items from the same collection. If Patron is looking in his Primo full record, he will be, and this item is part of the collection, the Patron will be hint that there is a new collection service over there. Of course, this service can be renamed. And once clicking on that, it will be able to drill down and to see more from the same collection. So we are exposing more items from the same collection. So if this item, the Picasso style and meaning, is associated with a collection of books about Picasso and history collection, we are blending here items that are related for both and help the user very easily to navigate it to one of the items that are associated to those collections. And we are also providing here a link to the collection page. Let's do a short demo for that. So I'm interested in this, as I said, I'm interested in this book, and I can be hint that this book is part of the collection. I'm going to this. I see that more of the same collection. Forgive me of the name; it's last moment. So this book is related to this collection, and if I click on this collection, I will be able to navigate to the collection, to this collection page with the item. But I can also have the ability to go and drill down to one of the items that is within this collection in very easily navigated. This is the more of the same collection. And as I showed you here, this is the link to this collection page. Let's move on. So this slide actually trying to explain what is behind this. What Primo is doing behind that. So we are targeting this more of from the same collection to customers that have already collection discovery and already published to Primo items that are correlated to the same collection. The correlation is actually each item have in its PNX the collection parent ID. So Primo behind the scenes trying to attempt to search for this collection parent ID and offers items that are part of this search. And this is our way to provide you the mix of the items that are associated to those collections. And this feature can be activated, enabled per view, and of course, as I said, you can also rename those services here. Okay, same as we did for the more from the same collection, we are also exposing more items from the same course. So as part of the strategy to also help to expose course material, if I'm interested in a book, and by the way, this is also a new course icon that we are going also to talk about later. I'm going to be hint that either by this course symbol or by this course services that this item is associated to a course. And wait, just a second. And when I'm clicking on that, I will be able to see more from the same course. And I also have the list of the course that this book is associated to. So I'll be able to get a mix of items that mix of the items that are correlated to the same courses. And in addition to that, if you are Primo Leganto user, you also be able to have those course name as a link to. As a link. I'm missing. and as a link to Leganto. So you will be able to configure this as a link to your Leganto, and then Discovery is now as an open door, giving you an access to your Leganto reading list. Previously, in the previous quarterly update webinar, we introduced the link to Leganto feature in the Primo VE. Now it's also being released in Primo in the August release, and it's also going to be released either as a link for the collection information in the details in the full view, or here, if you are activated more from the same course, those links, those course names can also be associated as a link. I will skip the demo because it's actually the same. I just want to mention that if both services are activated, course and collection, and the item are shared, you will be able to see here either course or collection. As you can see here, we are displaying up to 6 courses. If there are more, you will be able to see a button of view all collections. And Okay, and this slide is also explain behind the scene what we are doing. Primo is actually search for items that have the same course code in order to be able to track and search for the item with the same course code, and then to display them and help the user find those more easily. In order to activate it, you will have to update the normalization rules for Primo. Those normalization rule helps to extract the course information into the subfields of course name and course code, and help us find the item that are sharing the same course code. For the Primo VE customer, the calculation of the course code is going to be on the fly because it's actually on the Alma platform. It's taking it from the Alma and Leganto platform. Okay, so this was for the show those features of show from the same course and show more from the same collection. Now, as we are also introducing another icon. Previously, we had an icon for open access and for peer review. Now we want to improve the glanceability from the search results for course material. That is why whenever you will have an item that is associated as part of a course, you will be able to see this course icon. It's going to appear, as I showed you, in the full display, but also in the search results. So it's going to help the user find more easily course item and emphasize that. So this is also something that is being released both Primo and both Primo VE in August release. And now I want to show you this slide as in order to teaser you to check what are your discovery capabilities in terms of exposing the course material. So just to show you that we have recently released a few features that can help exposing the course material. So we are releasing this identification, more easily find the course material. We are releasing the ability to expose more from the same item in the right context. We also help to provide more access to your reading list system if this is Leganto. If you don't have Leganto, you can also think of more ways to expose links to the other learning management system. So this is like either to check and see how you can maximize those features and use it in your systems, in your discovery. Okay, next. Next is enhancement that it came from you, a request to add a not renewable indicator when item cannot be renewed. So far, we have only the renew item and a blank when item cannot be renewed. So we added this one. This voted very highly in the idea and also come as a nurse. And for Alma customer, if Alma is providing us with the reason why item cannot be renewed, well, the patron will hover this not renewable icon. It will be able to understand the reason the reason why it's not renewed, we are going to display in this tooltip up to two reasons. So if there are more, only the first two are going to be provided. And this is the nurse enhancement. Next, as I mentioned in the highlights, is the nurse enhancement from last year. Um, we Previously we introduced the hypertext linking, and we introduced there two search operator to define for the link. So if I have an hypertext link and I want to, you are able to define how to go to the advanced search and how to search, what to search and how to search when you are going to the advanced search. So we provided two search operator, which is exact and contains. And the exact phrase is actually defined more in Primo as exact. Exact search operator is defined in Primo more as exact phrase. That means that if I click on the hypertext link from William Jones, I also got results from where we have the William Jones as a phrase, but also results that have this as a text around that. So we got a feedback from the customer and from the Primo working group. And in order to be able to complete this nurse and to provide much more precise search match, we are now introducing a new option, a new search operator. We called it a facet exact. And the idea is to use the facet mechanism in order to provide much more precise search. So if someone is going to click on this offer and define a facet exact for the field offer, he will be able to search, to go to the advanced search with this offer offer is exact here, but we are also adding a facet for this value, for this offer name, in order to do some kind of matching only. So this is the way we solve this exact match. And our recommendation when you are thinking to use this, if you are thinking to use this facet exact, our recommendation is to make sure that you are thinking and correlate the queries that you are sending for the link with the facet value in order to make this really, in order to make the precise matching, you need to apply same normalization rule for both fields, facet and correlated fields. So just as a reminder, you will be able to find these hypertext linking fields, those a new search operator, which is facet exact. Okay. Next item is the export to Mendeley. We are now adding additional action to Primo to support the export to citation manager to the Mendeley citation manager. So far we have the referrals and other stuff. So, and this was requested previously, and also we did some kind of attempt using the wrong Mendeley technology, which was the web important in the past. Now we have finally managed to release it using a Mendeley API, and I would like to do this short demo for that. We are supporting the export to Mendeley for a single record or for a bulk of record. I will demo both for you. So if you're searching for like modern art, and you will be able to go to your admin and activated Mendeley as a new action. To do that, you will also have to register your Primo institution to Mendeley API and put it in our admin. There are instructions for that. So you are now seeing a new action. It's the Mendeley. The first time that I'm using the Mendeley, I'm being prompted to use to log in to the Mendeley, to my Mendeley account, okay? This is going to be valid the same timeout as Mendeley permits. I think this is 1 hour or when I close the browser. So now I have a permission to log in. I connected and I'm logged in. Just a second. If I manage to log in here, Primo will also automatically export to Mendeley once I manage to log in. And this record was exported. So I can do it either for one record or for a bulk of records. If I'm now going to my favorites and I save 3 items, I will be able to use the Mendeley and export all of them to at once. Okay. So this is about the export to Mendeley. The same goes from the My Library account. Also, the action will apply for the loans and requests that we found correlation to their PNX. So a new action, export to Mendeley, and I put here the requirement to register your Primo. You will find guideline in the Knowledge Center for that. Okay. More update that I want to share with you. I want to share with you that we have an ongoing project which we called it a search engine optimization friendliness, or in short, an SEO friendliness. The idea of that we would like to help and make your library catalog visible on the web if you choose to do that. In order to do that, we also work with an external consultancy, and we have also 2 customers that we are working together and examining on their site and applying our best practices there and see the improvement. So what we are doing gradually releasing for those features. What we are doing now is applying best practices, SEO best practices. And what we are releasing in the August release, we are actually releasing a canonical URL. We are adding to each Primo full display a canonical URL. A canonical URL is our way to tell the server, the crawler, the search engine, that this URL is a unique one. So if you manage to have a few real URLs to the same record, the canonical URL will inform the search engine that this is one. It helps to increase the page rank. It helps to avoid duplicate of content. So this is one best practice that we are applying with this release. You will be able to see in the HTML this rel canonical and the new structure of the canonical URL, which is also a best practice how to structure a canonical URL. It's helped also Google to see that record ID, to search by record ID, and it will be able to find and identify those. Another stuff that we are doing, another best practices, is to add always the schema.org to the full display. Previously we released it, but we add it only for specific deep links format. Now we are adding it on each Primo full display. And we are also adding metadata tags for the collection lobby and the collection page. We are adding the title and the description. So if someone have a deep link for their collection, they will be able to better being seen by search engine if they crawl them using this title and description that you choose to do. What I want to mention is there is much more significant improvement that will come by the end of the year, which is dynamic page rendering. So if you are patient enough, we would recommend to think if by the end of the year start using those. So the dynamic page rendering is about helping the crawler, the search engine crawler, and the Google bots to better understand the Primo pages. We are applying them a way to get an HTML, a clean one, and not the one what we've scripts, which is more tough to read. So this, as I said, is an ongoing project, and we will share with you more updates by the end of the year for that. Okay, and now before I'm switching to Hani to share the Primo VE update, I want to mention additional items. Now you are able to manage better your customization label in one place. If you develop in your customization package a new links or a new element in the system that require translation to this display label, you will have now a new custom code table where you can better manage and organize those code tables. This is one item I wanted to share. Another item that I wanted to share with you is now if you want to customize the shortcut icon that is going to be seen in your mobile device. If someone choose to have shortcut to Primo, you can control what icon will be there if you are customize the home screen icon image. And additional improvement, Primo Analytics, we are in addition to the feature that now we are releasing, we are adding usage information. We are also have ongoing effort to support analytics for features that we previously released. With this release, we are going to have usage information for the virtual browse. We are also going to have featured results and about and the topic overview and resource recommender. More information about resource recommender category. In the August, more details will be released in the August, starting of August. And now, starting in the Knowledge Center, so I expect to see that. And now I'm going to switch to Hani.
Okay, thanks, Nili, and hello, everyone. I would like to give you a quite brief update about what are the new functionalities that we have released in July and will be released in Primo VE in August and September, which is part of the third quarter. And we will also detail and demonstrate some of them. So the first feature that I would like to show you is the new additions in the normalization of local search and facet feature. I will talk about that. We have features related to the library card. We have added during July the configuration of loan request field in my library card, and in August we are going to release the online payment link in my library card for any payment system that you have. We have an amazing feature that give you the ability to change the ranking configuration for specific needs. We will talk about that. Two consortia related features in the external data source and even union view that we also detail in the next slides. We also have an ability for you to give the ability for users to create a purchase request for blank form that are not related to the specific item. And as usual, in the end, I will show you a feature that we have released that take advantage of the platform. The idea that we are on Alma platform, so we can release features in easier way and much faster. So let's start. As we actually released in June the normalization rule for search and facet, which gives the ability to create a local field from all the bibliographic records, for all bibliographic fields, which can be used for search and facet. And in July, we have added the test tool, the ability to test the normalization rule on Alma record. So you have the ability to select in the test tool in any Alma record, to search and select any Alma record, and then you can see how this local field will look like after the recalculate of the data. This is the feature that we already released, and in August we are going to add support for Unimark format. In June we have added we have released it with a Mark 21 format, and now in August Unimark customers that use Unimark format can use also a normalization rule for search and facet. You will see this ability, this new option in the creation of local fields. The next feature is the configuration of display loan items in my library card. This gives you the ability to control the presentation of the brief and the full display of loan items. Actually, there are a lot of details in the loan, and you can decide what are the most important information that you would like to present in the brief display and what will be presented in the full. So in this example, you can see that we have actually the brief display, and you have the ability to configure the second line of the brief display, the two fields that presented in the second line. You can define per field 3 parameters, and the delimiter. You can see here that you have 3 parameters to define, and out of the box the delimiter is a space, and you can define a different delimiter. And the full display, when user expand the loan item, you can see more information about the loan. And this also can be controlled now by the library. You can define what are the fields that will be presented here. We have a new configuration for that, loans detail display, a new entry in the discovery configuration that gives you the ability to enable or disable every field and decide what is the order you would like to present those fields. This is a new feature which actually is going to be released in September, which gives you the ability to configure the ranking of your results list. Actually, as you know, our goal is to give the users the most relevant results first. We have as Libris, we have the ranking algorithm and mechanism that actually grants the right boost for every record in order to present to the user, based on his search, the most relevant record first. But in addition to that, we know that there might be specific needs in the library to change the ranking of unique materials. There are local materials or local collections that you might want to change his ranking or grant to them a higher boost. And for this purpose, we are going in September to provide you the ability to adjust and control the boosting of your own local materials. One of our goals when we have started developing it is to avoid the recalculation of the data when changing the boost. So indeed, this configuration is actually applied in search time. So immediately after changing the settings of the boost of the ranking, you can see the difference and decide if it's been for the better. You can change it and see immediately the effect on the results list. We have 3 criteria that we provide to you in order to define the ranking. The first option is based on the field boosting. You can set different boosting factor for each field. You can see here in the configuration we have the list of the fields, of the index fields, and the boosting factors that we provide out of the box for those fields. And you can also add new fields that are not listed in this list. Also, your local search field you can add and provide the boosting factor. Actually, when you define the boosting factor, it's multiplied for every match found in that field. So it's just this is the meaning of field boosting. The second option is a date boosting. You can display, for example, the most recent and up-to-date document first. And you can see here that we have the date boosting. You can add a year, specific year with a boosting or range of years. And this gives you the ability to define up to 5 years or range of years in the configuration and see the effect on the results list. The third option is defining the boosting based on resource type. This gives you the ability to promote local collections that are owned by the library and give them the high boost based on the resource type. So you can see here that you can add any resource type with a boosting factor. Just a comment when you try to use it is that date and resource type boosting are affected the document boost. So the meaning is that the influence on the search result is much more significant. If we compare it to the field boost, which is a query boost, the effect is less noticeable, so the factor should be high in order to see the changes on the results list. I would like to give you one example of change how actually the system works. What I would like to do is let's search for teacher education. And as you can see here in the results list, we have journals and books. And what I would like to do as a library is to give high rank for conference proceeding materials. You can see in the resource type that actually I have in the results list conference proceeding, but I don't see it in page 1, also not in page 2, and I already checked it, and we have one conference proceeding record that exists displayed only in the page 6. So I would like to provide to conference proceeding a high boost in order to push them up and see them in the first page. So let's see the configuration. We are in the discovery configuration in Alma, and we have a new entry of ranking configuration. Let's open this page. Actually give you the ability to configure based on field boosting, date boosting, and resource type boosting. What I would like to do is to define the conference. Let's select the conference proceeding and give the 8 boosting factor. Okay, so let's go back to the results list. And now I would like to invoke again the search. Now what I can see is that my configuration is affected, and the first result is indeed conference proceeding. If I would like to change it and fine-tuning it, I can change it back and forth and try to find the correct boost factor to provide for every resource type. So actually you can start playing with it and see the effect on your unique materials. I would like to mention that you have to do that carefully and only for specific needs, and not do a massive changes, because a lot of changes can affect and harm the out-of-the-box ranking mechanism. So do it carefully, check the influence on the search results, and do it only for specific needs, and not a lot of changes in the configuration. Okay. The next feature that we are also going to release during September is excluding external data source from entire network search. This is relevant for discovery network, for customers that have discovery networks, can be consortia, and also ALMA single institutions that have this discovery network in Primo VE. And what we add is ability to say that that specific external data source shouldn't be shared with the network. This is relevant for data source like LibGuides that actually relevant for only for users from the institution and shouldn't be shared in the entire network search. So for this purpose, you can define that you would like to unshare this data with other institutions, and so other institutions, when they will search in the entire network search, they won't see those materials. And the next feature is a consortial union view. Actually, in consortia, what we have now, it's every institution in the consortia has its own view with its branding, configuration, etc. And in this institutional view, user can search in their institutions and also in the entire network to find materials from other institutions. But the services, because he opened the view from the institution, will be offered based on his institution. So he will see the physical and electronic availability based on his institution. A consortium view is different purpose. There are consortiums that would like to create a neutral view to publicize the materials that are held by all the institutions in the consortia. So this view is created in the network institution and not in institution level, only in the ENSI. As a result of this, when unknown user, when guest user will search in this view, Primo VE he will be able to search in the entire network, like in the institutional view, but the services will be provided based on the network zone level. So only activation that are done in the consortium level, like electronic materials that are available for all, will be presented to guest users. But once the user will sign in, he will be able to sign in to his specific institution. So all the available services of that institution will be offered to the user. Let's see the flow to understand better how it works. So this is example of a union view and the search. User search in this view, this union view, find materials. You can see here that he don't see any available services because all the services are in institution level. He will, when the user will open the full display of the page, he can see that this item exists in two institutions, in alumni institutions, in a university and University of Knowledge. So this is an indication for the user to know that this item is held by those institutions physically. And now the user would like to sign in order to create a request or to see the online availability. So once the user click on sign in, a login page pop-up is opened with a list of all the institutions that are part of the network zone, and the user can select his institution. In our case, the user select Alma University option, and then he will get the login page of this institution with all the regular definitions of Alma University institution. After the sign in, you can see here that he indeed gets the available indication, the physical availability, and he can also see in the full display in the Get It that this item exists from Alma University, and also the request that he can create. And in Get It Other, you can see that it also exists in University of Knowledge. So this is actually the flow of the Consortial Union View. The next is a blank Patron purchase request form. This is needed for cases that a user would like to submit a purchase request for items that does not exist in the library catalog. The user doesn't find what he's looking for in a results list. So we are now adding the option to create a blank Patron purchase request. The link will be is added to the main menu, to the links menu, and user can click on it and get the form, fill all the fields, and send the request. This option is available for signed-in users and not for guests. If the user is a guest and he click on the option in the main menu, he will be asked first to sign in to the university, to the institution, and then we will see the purchase request form. So this is also a new feature that will be released as part of September. The last feature that I would like to show you is actually features that take advantage of the platform. Actually, all the mechanism of the browse in Primo VE is based on Alma. We invoke a call in front of Alma in order to get the browse headings or the call numbers. So now we have added, in July, we have added 3 call number types, the UDC, NLM, and shelving control number. You can see here in the view that we have the browse search option. When you edit this option, you can see the 3 new call number types and enable them if you are using those call numbers. So this is a new feature that are based on the Alma platform. Okay, and just an update about the search response time improvements and where we are standing. So we see significant improvement in the search and get it response time after we rolled out several improvements during June and July. We have released them and rolled out on production environment. And we actually measure the response times, as you can see in the reports here. We have reports in environment level, in daily basis. We can follow and see the progress and the improvement in the search response time. And we also have reports per institution. So in this report, it's actually per institution. We can see every institution and his performance and we follow it and still working and continue to improve the search response time. and we will keep you updated with the news when we will roll out new enhancements. So this is Nili. Do you want to?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so after those review, we would like to give you a sneak peek for the next quarter. So next quarter, what we are going to provide is improvement to the UI experience to let the user apply actions on bulk of the record. That means if I want it from the brief results, if user would like to send to his email or export to citation bulk of records, we will be able to provide that. In addition, we are also adding a support to search by voice. Like when you talk and you translate it to the text term, a very first step for that. So it's also coming in the next quarter. Additional item to highlight is coming from the nurse, an improvement to the way the email is currently displayed. More option for you to customize the email. And in addition, additional item is requesting from customer to enhance the way that we are displaying the subject within the full display to provide the ability to display the subject as a chain, not only as a separate subject as a link and then go to the new line for another subject. Much more granular subject display and link options. So this is going to be this item. We are also going to provide an ability to browse journal by category, adding this category tree to the journal search interface, same as we did from the database search by category. And last, for the Primo VE, Hani, you would like to share?
Yeah. Yes. So in Primo V, we are planning, actually the virtual browse currently present the records based on the call number that is held in the holding for physical materials actually, and we have requested to add in the virtual browse also the electronic materials. So this is something that we are going to add in the Q4. The meaning of that is that we will provide the ability to configure if you would like to present the virtual browse based on the call numbers on the bib or from the holdings. So this is coming.
And thank you for joining this quarterly. We are waiting to get your feedback on the currently release. We also recommend you to, as this release expose course material, tell us if this your idea for more, and also to maximize the capability to expose the material. Thank you for participate.